This week in Jamaica Now, Jamaica observing 12 days of mourning for head of state Queen Elizabeth. Tragedy, 3 brothers killed in a house fire in Westmoreland. Murder mayhem, St Andrew, St James and Westmoreland rocked by multiple killings this week. And war of words, JPS and the Energy Minister Daryl Vaz in public spat over quality of service. I'm Jovan Johnson and this is Jamaica Now. Jamaica is now in 12 days of official mourning following the September 8th death of Britain's Queen Elizabeth in the United Kingdom. The British monarch is Jamaica's head of state. The 96-year-old died at one of her homes in Scotland. Her eldest son, Charles, will be proclaimed King Charles III on September 10. The Queen's death ended her 70-year reign, the longest by a monarch in British history. The news has reverberated globally, including in Jamaica, whose government has declared 12 days of national mourning, which started on September 8. A day of mourning will be held on September 18. Flags on public buildings are being flown at half-mast, church bells in parish capitals were tolled, and national memorial services are being organized. The Queen visited Jamaica on 6 occasions. In 1953, the year she was crowned. Her last was in 2002 when she celebrated 50 years on the throne. Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen, who is the monarch's local representative, said the Queen was admired for her strong sense of duty and lifelong devotion to the service of others. Prime Minister Andrew Holness described the Queen's death as a great and profound sadness. And the opposition leader Mark Golding said the Queen was a symbol of decency, stability and continuity. Meanwhile, Mr. Golding's People's National Party has indicated that its national conference scheduled for September 18 will go ahead despite the government declaring that Sunday as the National Day of Mourning. 12-year-old Adriana Leng, the lone survivor of a tragic house fire in Westmoreland on September 4 that claimed the lives of her 3 brothers, is off to the United States for treatment. She suffered severe burns before she was rescued. There was a public fundraising for $40,000 or 6.3 million Jamaican dollars to cover the cost of her transportation by air ambulance to the Joseph M. Still Burn Medical Center in Georgia, the largest such facility in the United States. Contributions came from corporate entities, one of which was Scoops Unlimited, manufacturers of Devon House ice cream, that provided $10,000. Adriana's 3 younger brothers, 9-year-old Adriano Leng and 7-year-old twins Jordan and Jaden Leng, died in the fire which destroyed their home in Springfield. Their father, with whom the children lived, Adrian DJ Bones Leng, was overcome with grief but expressed appreciation for the assistance with his daughter. Curfews were imposed in Olympic Gardens and Waterhouse St Andrew this week as law enforcers scrambled to rein in escalating violence as 5 persons were murdered in the St Andrew South Police Division in 24 hours up to Tuesday. That intervention was activated after a high-level meeting of the top brass in the sprawling division, which is a hunting ground teeming with more than 50 active gangs. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who is also the MP for the area, condemned the latest acts of violence. The killings come amid a 6% increase in murders so far this year when compared to the similar period last year. Meanwhile, investigations continue into Wednesday's shooting murder of 25-year-old female bar operator Chrysanthi Wilson and her boyfriend Shaba as they slept at their home in Barretttown, St James. Hours later in Westmoreland, at least 7 persons were shot, 3 fatally in separate incidents. 2 of the deceased persons were later identified as 23-year-old Orlando Evans and 34-year-old Winston Casanova, both of Negril addresses. And Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson has welcomed Wednesday's passage of the new Firearms Act in the House of Representatives. He says it will make a major difference in ridding the island of illegal guns. Under the bill, any person in possession of a prohibited weapon commits a felony and, upon conviction, could face life imprisonment or a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years. Human rights group Jamaicans for Justice says the mandatory minimum should be removed because it would restrain the discretion of judges. The law is heading to the Senate for approval. Entertainer Rohan Silk Boss Reid, who was named a person of interest, was questioned on Tuesday after reporting to the Portmore Police in St Catherine as requested. Commander for the St Catherine South Police Division, Senior Superintendent Christopher Phillips, said that there was no reason to detain him. Investigators had appealed for Reid to make contact with the Portmore Police after videos surfaced on social media in which he appeared to have been assaulted. The artiste said he did not give a statement to the police regarding the video. Electricity provider Jamaica Public Service JPS is to appear before the Cabinet of Jamaica on September 12. The news came just after a week after Energy Minister Daryl Vaz accused the entity of not addressing long-standing customer service issues. Mr. Vaz issued a statement earlier this month saying the rate increase granted to JPS in August should not have been allowed until the issues he identified were addressed. Mr. Vaz claimed that there have been lengthy delays in adding new customers to the grid due to a shortage of necessary equipment and parts, and persistent and unscheduled power outages. But JPS has hit back, saying some of the minister's comments were inaccurate. It said it has been trying for months to meet with the ministry without success. JPS said it was not aware of Mr. Vaz's claim that 100,000 customers are waiting to be connected to the grid. On the issue of unplanned outages, JPS, in which the government has shares, said there can be no guarantee of uninterruptible power in the face of uncontrollable factors such as weather conditions, motor vehicle accidents or equipment failure. Prime Minister Andrew Holness continues to be the favoured leader for most Jamaicans according to the latest Jamaica Gleaner Don Anderson poll. But his political foe, Mark Golding, who heads the opposition People's National Party, has been making improvements. The opposition leader's positive performance rating improved by 7 percentage points over 2021, moving from 11% to 18% this year. More than 38% of Jamaicans rated the Prime Minister's performance as good or very good. Mr. Golding's negative rating decreased by 8 percentage points to 39 from a high of 47% last year. However, Mr. Golding's 39% ranking as poor or very poor is almost 50% higher than the Prime Minister Andrew Holness's negative cumulative rating of 27%. Manchester High School has revised its rules to allow for schoolgirls to wear hair extensions, a rare concession in Jamaica's long-running culture clash over grooming. The school's handbook says wigs, hair extensions, artificial braids or any other hair additions must not exceed shoulder length. Manchester's Dean of Discipline, Sigrid Miller, said the change signals a new era. The decision took effect for the 2022-2023 school year that started on September 5, with the usual concerns about grooming and the dress codes in public institutions. Education Minister Favour Williams told Parliament on Tuesday that parents and children must follow the rules set down by schools.
School rules are about discipline in school. School rules are about preparation for living in the wider society in which we have to coexist with each other. There are rules everywhere in society that all of us have to obey. We must teach our children in our schools to obey the school rules. If you believe the school rule needs to be changed, engage the process. Do not lock the school gate. Do not bad up the teacher or the principal. Engage the process. If the school says no pink hair, do not send your child with pink hair. Obey the school rules. If there is no discipline in our schools, Madam Speaker, our teachers will have a very hard time educating.
And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube channel, turn on your notifications and subscribe today. I'm Jovan Johnson, and before we go, a look back at the visits to Jamaica by Queen Elizabeth II, who died on September 8.